a beach, a sandy beach. It looks like many sandy beaches around the world, but this one is special. This one played a significant role in the Allied invasion of Western Europe in World War II. Instead of being called by its real name, like the beach at Colville-sur-Mer or Verville-sur-Mer, this 6-mile stretch of sandy beach is more commonly known by its code name, Omaha. On June 6, 1944, this sandy beach was one of 5 used as landing beaches by Allied forces for Operation Overlord, the Battle of Normandy. Overlord was the largest amphibious invasion in military history. In addition to preparatory bombing by Allied air forces, an airborne assault preceded an amphibious assault involving more than 5,000 naval vessels. Nearly 160,000 troops crossed the English Channel on June 6th, and more than 2 million Allied troops were in France within 2 months. Overlord took pressure off the Soviet Union fighting Axis forces on the Eastern Front, led to the liberation of Western Europe from Axis occupation, and contributed to Germany's unconditional surrender less than a year later. It ended with the Allied breakout from Normandy in Operation Cobra in late July 1944. But first, the Allies had to establish a beachhead, and Omaha was one of those key locations. The landing beaches were along approximately 50 miles of Norman coastline and were divided by the primary country's landing forces. Utah and Omaha beaches, on the western side, were for American forces. To the east, Gold and Sword beaches were primarily British, and Juno Beach was Canadian. So why is Omaha different, more special than the other 4 landing beaches? The Omaha beach area was the most contested on D-Day. German forces were in hardened bunkers and fighting positions with supporting artillery positions all along Normandy as part of Germany's Atlantic Wall defense. But at Omaha, unlike the other 4 beaches, the German positions were on steep bluffs that commanded the long, flat shoreline. As U.S. troops from the 1st and 29th Infantry Divisions moved inland from their landing boats through the surf and across the exposed beach, they were pinned down for hours by murderous machine gun fire. Omaha Beach turned into a vast killing field. John Robert Slaughter was a sergeant assigned to the 29th Infantry Division. He landed with his unit as part of the first wave on D-Day.
Our mission was to get up on the hill as quickly as possible and dig in and get ready for the counterattack that we felt was coming. So we didn't have very many weapons and very much ammo and not many men, so I went back down the beach to try to get, to round up some people and try to get more automatic weapons up there.
Wasn't that pretty scary to go back down there? Because I guess they were still firing
well,
down
there.
there.
But it was scary where I was anyway. I mean, we were getting shot at up on the hill too. I mean, so we had to go back and get some ammo. We didn't have any weapons. So I went back down, and that's when I saw that the tide had already come in by then, and it was just worse than all you did. I could tell then that we were really in bad shape because it looked like the whole regiment was just about wiped out. And all I could see down the beach was dead men and wounded men. Very few, healthy people. And we did find a few weapons. There were all kinds of debris out down the beach. We picked up a few and took them back up the hill. But anyway, that's the way that was our D-Day. I looked out over the channel, I could see all those 5,000 ships out there. It was an awesome sight. That gave us a little bit of courage, because I thought sure we were going to get pushed back into the ocean. So we didn't have enough, we didn't have enough men to do anything with much. And we weren't organized at all. All the officers just about were killed. Most of the sergeants we had out of my company, we had 5 of 9 of our officers were killed, including the captain. 10 of our sergeants, including the first sergeant, was killed. 2 corporals. So all of our leaders were gone. Just a bunch of privates and sergeants corporal's trying to, get something going and trying to get it to succeed.
Now, had you been trained well for what was going to happen?
But not for that, no. Nobody could possibly be trained for what we faced that day.
The Americans fought up the cliffs and started to establish the beachhead, but at a heavy cost. Over 4,700 killed, wounded, or missing out of the approximately 35,000 who came ashore at Omaha that day. This represents a loss of more than 13%. Of the 160,000 Allied troops in Normandy on June 6th, there were approximately 12,000 casualties. The casualties around Omaha Beach represented 39% of the total. The fierce fighting around Omaha Beach was highlighted in Academy Award-winning movies The Longest Day and Saving Private Ryan. The U.S. losses fighting around Omaha Beach drove the selection of the bluffs overlooking the beach as the site for the Normandy American Cemetery. This was the first American cemetery on European soil in World War II. The cemetery contains the graves of almost 9,400 American military dead, most of whom lost their lives in the D-Day landings and ensuing operations. Nearly 1,600 additional names are engraved on the walls of the missing. If the 1st and 29th Infantry Divisions were not successful at Omaha Beach, it would have been a significant impact on the Allies' chances for success in Overlord and would have impacted the Allies' timeline in defeating Axis forces in Western Europe. In U.S. military history, the fight at Omaha Beach rivals that of Gettysburg and Antietam from the Civil War, or the Battle of the Bulge and the Battle for Iwo Jima in World War II. World War II was the largest, costliest, and bloodiest war in human history. More than 16 million Americans served in uniform. More than 400,000 Americans lost their lives, second only to the American Civil War. As a major part of the U.S. role in World War II, the invasion of Normandy is still inspiring by its sheer audacity and its enormous size and scale. With only 80 years since the operation, there still is great interest in studying and understanding Overlord and Omaha Beach specifically. The Normandy American Cemetery is the most visited site managed by the American Battle Monuments Commission, with more than 1 million visitors annually. That region of France averages 2 to 3 million visitors during major anniversary commemorations.